Hey everyone, just thought I'd do the short little video about my opinion on the skill tree that they just added for MechWarrior Online this last patch on May 16th. So I've tinkered around with it a bit and sort of gone through some of the legacy mechs and stuff, and I'll try and keep it short, I'll try not to ramble, but basically the key points that I feel that the skill tree achieves is that it does give a better sense of progression. If I imagine as a newbie, this vast skill tree with so many little options and nodes and stuff probably looks like, on the surface, is quite a good thing. Being able to sort of pick and choose what you want as you go along, finding the things that work best for your build. However, as a long-time player, I feel that the skill tree is a great foundation for PGI to start with, but I really hope that this isn't the final version that they go with. I really hope that they make a few more iterations, or possibly even another version of it as it goes forward. As it stands, it's perfectly fine. It's far better than the skill tree we used to have, which, let's face it, every single mech got the exact same skills. Didn't really feel like it was that personal, and hence the reason we had the quirk system and all the rest of it. Now, I know many people lament the loss of the quirks for many mechs in the game, and essentially you have to rebuy them in a way with the skill tree to get the old quirk system back. But the only thing I would say that I think PGI probably need to do, in my opinion, would be to break the skill tree into weight classes rather than having just a broad selection of every skill. And what I mean by this is that you have a light version, a medium, a heavy, and an assault. And since we have all these different trees with different skills, so the light one would have all of the skills for mech operation, and all the targeting skills and stuff like that, and ECM skills and all the rest of it. And the idea being that the lights have less emphasis on armor and firepower and stuff, but they have all of the maneuverability and all of the targeting and scanning abilities, which makes sense because they're mostly supposed to be scout mechs, they're not meant to be frontline combatants. Then the medium tree would have probably the most choice in that every single skill tree is available, but they're all cut down versions of it to represent the medium mech's jack of all trades type role. And then the heavies have more of the firepower, more of the armor, you know, and going less toward things like the mech operation and scanning and stuff like that. And in the end, the assault have all of the firepower tree, all of the armor tree, and very little of the others. The only one that I would keep consistent, though, is miscellaneous, because that has things like UAVs and all that. That tree should be there for all weight classes. But I think that would better differentiate what the role of each class of mech is supposed to perform on the field. And I think it would, you know, it would mean assault players feel like the assault mechs are really deadly because they have all of the firepower benefits, but they're not as maneuverable, which makes sense. Currently, you can have an assault mech that has all the same maneuver bonuses as a light mech, and I know that that still doesn't mean it's going to move as quick as the light mech, but I still don't think it should have as quick a torso twist ability and the ability to anchor turn at full speed and stuff like that. So that's what I would hope PGI would look at in the future. It's unlikely to happen, because once PGI do something these days, they just kind of move on to the next thing, and very rarely do they come back to it, but I would hope they do that. Outside of that, I know the current buying and respecking and stuff could be a bit clearer. I think the text needs to be made a little bit more clear on how respecking works, how much it'll cost you to rebuy nodes and stuff like that, because it's cost, I think they said it's about 400 mech XP per node to rebuy when you're respecking, and I don't think it really explains that very well. The ledger system was okay for legacy players, although, yeah, I mean, having to click the different windows and stuff to add skill points. I don't know why you can add more than 91 skill points. That seems like an odd thing. I guess maybe the idea is so you can kind of turn off some skills and activate others by having spare points, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I assume that's what it's for. Again, there's just the game needed like a pop-up to explain this, I think, that, you know, when you first logged in and gave you a bit more of an in-depth description in-game, because not everybody uses the forums. Not every player is glued to the social media aspect of it. to try and learn all this stuff, especially people who never bothered with the PTS, who never read any of this. This thing just appeared, and you know, games need that kind of info given to players, regardless of how you may think, well, they just read the patch notes. Not everybody reads patch notes. They just play the game and, oh, it's got an update. Oh, they've changed this or they've added that. Seen it plenty of times in the past. So I think maybe PGI could have been better with adding some kind of in-game tutorial explanation about the skill tree. But yeah, I didn't want to keep this too long. Basically, it is a massive step in the right direction. I'm glad it's finally arrived. It's been more than 3 or 4 years in the making from the original placeholder skill tree that we were using. Hopefully they will tinker with it, as I said, and maybe we'll see some other iteration or versions of it. Maybe they'll readjust skills. Oh, that's actually one final major point. Probably the thing I dislike the most about the skill tree is I don't like the web. I don't like the way that I have to click through some superfluous skills for me just to get to the ones I want for the mech. I think you should just be able to pick and choose what ones you want. I know the argument that they used when this was brought up in the past. They said something along the lines of, we want players to go through earlier skills to get to the good stuff, so you're admitting basically that some of your earlier skills aren't worth it. So you've just put in fluff for no reason. I don't know if that really means players have that level of customization that you claim it gives. If you just allowed people to pick the ones they want with their 91 points, that's true customization. Yes, is there going to be an optimal meta version of it? Of course, but there's going to be players who are always going to find that regardless. Even this current web system, there's going to be people who've already picked the most efficient skills to take. So that doesn't really... I don't really understand why they decided to do that. I personally think it would have been better if I could have picked all of the SRM skills for my Jenna Oxide, for instance, and not bothered with any of the others, because then I could have put all the points into the speed tweak skills and stuff like that I want from other trees, and maybe the skeletal density and armor stuff that I just want, because I don't want AMS overload, I don't want shock absorbance, but I have to buy some of these things to get to those skills. So I don't really feel like the mech I would be making is how I would build it, because I've lost maybe 20 points going through buying these other skills that are useless for me. Like a 5% range increase on SRMs isn't going to be that big a deal for a mech that has to get pretty close to do max damage anyway. So I would hope at least PGI would allow us to do that in the future, but if not, I guess it's fine as it is. I'm not going to rag them for it for a new element, a new system like this that they've added, but hopefully we'll see some more changes in the future. And yeah, so that's about it. That's all I've got on that. Let me know what you guys think about the skill tree. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I know for some people it's been the straw that broke the camel's back, and they've claimed they've left the game, they're never coming back, and other people hail it as something that's a real game changer for MWO. So yeah, be interested to know what you guys think. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time. Chris the Rocket, signing out. Bye.